welcome to Olsem Wanem. We are all born with different features, personalities, and talents. There is one thing for sure, and that is each of us is unique in our own special way. Transgender people, for one, are a set of individuals that are unique in their own way. A transgender person is someone who is born with typical male or female anatomies, but feels as though they have been born into the wrong body. For example, a person may have been born as a male, but feels like a woman, or vice versa. Transgender has remained a topic that is often too sensitive to discuss openly, not only within our families and communities, but also through the media. With the amount of stigma and discrimination, abuse and violence surrounding transgender people, certain organizations have stepped up to question if human rights have been violated.
One of the big challenges that they face is the stigma discrimination. Okay, we have two types of stigma here. There's the self-stigma, is they can face within themselves. It's through the assessment that they look at throughout wherever they move around, and if they feel that there is a sense of stigma within the public, then they already feel that self-stigma and self-low esteem as well.
In PNG, we've got talk patient versions of like Gary. What are some of the talk patient expressions that they use against our members? I mean, the members of Merry man, Merry type man, gay man. Those are some of the all the labels that have been given to the members of the transgender and MDS community in the country.
So yeah, basically in terms of discrimination, there are also forms of physical abuse, sexual abuse, and verbal abuse. Yeah, so this is what these people are going through. They do come under the broad topic of gender-based violence, because gender is about the roles and responsibilities that we play. Yeah, from a young person till when the person is older. Yeah, whatever forms of culture, religion, westernization, modernization, all that influences us to be who we are. Yeah, so for example, in my community, yeah. People say that no, we don't want these people to be part of our community because they are destroying the image of men. Yeah, and we grow up with thinking that these people should not be part of the society. Yeah, so which means we are pushing these people away, and yeah, it's causing a big issue in Papua New Guinea and contributing to the violence that is happening here.
Okay, for the health services, I would say that most of these transgenders find it hard to access services. For example, for STI and visitor HIV testing, they feel that they might have a negative attitude from the healthcare workers of how they feel. The people there who are willing to help them and serve them, but if they talk about what kind of behavior that they have within themselves, then they might not want to say something about what kind of practice that they do with the behavior.
I'm actually comparing case stories of all the hardship that they are going through, and eventually I'm going to publish that and be distributing it to the relevant authorities about the real life situations that they've been confronting. the members of the TGs and the MDS, it's very difficult. I haven't seen it once, so I couldn't just tell you exactly what's happening out there, but they actually do not have access to legal services. They are not being treated well by officers out on the street. There are a lot of things that it's not right.
In terms of accessing of services, they should also access services, like the healthcare, education, employment, because minority, maybe half or 60% of these people are not employed. And why, sometimes why? Even they have good marks, but why, or they graduated, but why are they not employed, yeah?
Welcome back, as Olsem Wanem gives you insight to challenges faced by transgender people in Papua New Guinea. In this segment, we look at homosexuality laws and how they are often used to harass, blackmail, and threaten transgenders. Under the Criminal Code 210 on unnatural offenses, it is currently a crime for a man to have sex with another man. This refers to homosexuality. This law is often used as an excuse to harass, blackmail, and threaten transgenders.
Actually, it is illegal for homosexuality in the country and all that. The law, it's the criminal offense law of 1974, section 210 and 212 reveals that it is illegal to have sex with another man. And that's why when they see a transgender out there, the perception is a man block or pasia kampaitimem. Without seeing anything, evidence now, walking, but no, we want to see that must end.
You will find cases where those laws are not actually being used, but they are being abused, like blackmail, threat for money and things like that. If you don't do this, we can arrest you, And so we should remove any law that can be abused and that is not constitutional. As you probably know, I went into politics to be a parliamentarian, not to be a politician. That might sound strange. I wanted to go in to address legislative problems, policy issues and things of that nature. And so it soon became part of my agenda to look at some of our discriminatory laws. You've heard George and our various couple champions talking about discrimination and labelling, labels that have come in from the outside world to Papua New Guinea and to the Pacific region. And I don't believe that those labels actually existed traditionally. All human societies have a great diversity in sexuality, all human societies. And human beings all have rights. There's sexual rights, women's rights, children's rights, all areas of rights. And it just became natural that I would become involved in this area of sexuality rights, because I became increasingly aware of the discrimination, the stigmatization that is going on in society against people of different sexual diversities. I don't want to label them. People who are different sexually. and about people who, even people like sex workers. And so I became involved in that. When I became a minister, I had been working on this already, and so I said to the secretary for the department that I was in charge of, I said, I have been working in these areas of rights, in terms of sexuality rights, and I want to know if you're willing to allow me to bring it at a ministerial level. He was very broad-minded, he was very good on this, and he said, we stand for human rights, and so yes. Some of my department, of course, some of the staff in the department were feeling very, very uncomfortable about issues to do with sexuality, and they didn't want me to talk about it. And so what I did with that, because of the policy division, I actually had them go out and have lunch with a group of sex workers, go and meet with some people who are labelled transgender and transsexual and gay, etc., and be with them. And you know, interesting, after that, these women, very highly qualified bureaucrats, I said, well, how do you feel about it now? And they said, it's okay, we'll work on this with you, let God be our judge. Because they had met with people, they'd seen the human face of people, and they'd seen some of the hardships that people were being persecuted purely because they might have been a little bit different in their sexuality preferences. And so it did become an issue that we started to work on in the department, not very openly, because there were members of the department that were very uncomfortable about it. And they actually said to me, please, we should stop talking about this. But I mean, that's not what the job of a politician is. You speak for every citizen. You don't choose which citizens you speak for. You speak for every citizen of your nation.
PNG's constitutional rights allows every citizen to be protected, equal, and free from inhuman treatment, as well as the right to privacy and freedom of expression. Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. We now hear of a transgender person who tells us about her experience and her hardships. It takes great courage for Daniela to speak out openly as a transgender. Daniela enjoys modeling and spending time with her friends, but there are so many others who remain under the spotlight due to stigma and discrimination.
I'm a transgender, and I started as a transgender since I was probably around 8 or 9 years old. Yeah, so I just wanted to do things like women, and I think like women. Yeah. From my immediate family, like my mom and dad, they hate me and they rejected me and all this. I was rejected by them. I stayed out on my own, like on the street or something like that, with friends and all this. And then after some years, my mom really wants me to go back to the family, but my dad didn't want me to go back to the family because my dad said it spoils his name and all this because of my identity. The important thing is my family. That's the only thing that I fear. So you have to have your family to be there for you when you are down and all this. So about the public, I'm not really worried about the public. And I also have friends, so many friends within the community that I'm living in, and lots of friends loves me because I am fun to be with. I share things as well. Like I'm part of the community, so It depends on you yourself as a transgender to behave within communities and public. If you respect yourself and you love the way who you are, the other people will respect you as well. So you respect them, they respect you, and they will love you the way you are. From grade 1 up to 5 maybe, it's okay, but when it comes up to 6, 7, 8 in the upper grade, so many discriminations, and sometimes they lock me up in the toilet from morning 10 o'clock till afternoon and all this. Yeah, I face a lot of discrimination and stigma and violence as well from other school, especially upper grades up from the second area. We face stigma and discrimination from all the public places that we go. I do represent transgenders in PNG to address issues that they face in PNG in international levels and all this, and also national levels. Yeah. So I won a scholarship for professional transgender health issues.
Papua New Guinea is not the only country that has issues surrounding transgenders. We now look at transgenders in Jamaica and the challenges they face.
What would you guess was the biggest problem facing the police in Jamaica's capital? Perhaps the high crime rate? Or levels of poverty? Not according to the Deputy Superintendent here. For him, it's this group of homeless people. Their crime? Being openly gay and transgender in a society where male gay sex is punishable by 10 years hard labour. Ostracised by her community, Chrissy set up home in a squat with friends from the LGBT community. After complaints from neighbours, the owner of the house decided his best option was to level the building, rather than risk them returning. Finally, Chrissy has ended up here, camped out in a storm drain in Kingston's business district, where she and her friends are regularly under siege.
See there, one man swing one stone in my face. Because I teeth and bust up the whole of my mouth.
Her friends have been beaten, stabbed and stoned. Homophobia permeates society in modern Jamaica. From churches...
Look how woman sweet, a man a sex man bottom. You're dirty and nasty, you are washed with the blood.
To dancehall music, where massive mainstream hits have lyrics that openly endorse the persecution and murder of gay men. Even officials who say they do not discriminate have little sympathy for their impossible situation.
Jamaica homophobic, Jamaica not foreign. So you can't come to Jamaica and dress up like Jamaica, like you're foreign. And if you do it, you can do it, but guess what? You're going to be at a disadvantage.
No matter where they go to try to build a life, Chrissy and those like her are persecuted, simply for being brave enough not to live a lie.
This life I'm living is not for me, but I have to cope with it and bear it. But the Lord will reveal me. Sorry.
Do you have to be born female to be female?
You were born a boy. What was your name as a boy?
My name was Walter.
Jenna, this is you?
Yeah, this is me at my Nana's house with my dad.
You were a very cute little boy, Jenna.
I just always knew that I was not what they were saying. It wasn't right. I thought that I was in the wrong body. I was really confused because they kept saying I was a boy, and I just never felt that way. I was always attracted to everything feminine.
At what age did you physically start to transition to being a female?
14. Well, I went to the doctor and I just let them know this is how I feel, this is what it is, and I need to start hormones as soon as possible. I took estrogen, which helped me develop my own breast and keep my skin as it was.
After she'd had years of psychological therapy, doctors gave Jenna, now 19, what she dreamed of: letters stating that she qualified for sex reassignment surgery, which the Canadian health system paid for. Are you attracted to men or to women?
I'm attracted to men. I have a partner.
You have a boyfriend who knows that you are transgender?
Yes, he's very supportive, same age as me, just an amazing man.
Did you meet him before or after your surgery?
After my surgery.
And that's all we have time for on Olsem Wanem. If you have any comments or stories you would like to share, please contact us via the address on your screen or visit us on our Facebook page. For now, enjoy the rest of your viewing on your #1 station, MTV.